everybody, welcome back. This is some family drama that you best believe blew up the group chat. Compilation. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter-in-law she wasn't invited due to her weight?
Probably yes.
I already don't like where this is going. All rise for the honorable challenge. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I mean, I'm not the one on trial here, but I shall. I will try to keep this short. I've got 3 girls, and we like to do girls' trips for the day. My son got married to a girl named Beth. Now, before her kids, she was average weight, and after, it got a lot worse. Her only kid is 8 years old at this point, and she hasn't lost the weight. I am sensing a little bit of fat phobia here, just a little bit. It's bad enough that she needs constant breaks walking. I don't like the way you're wording this, I'm not gonna lie. I used to like her, and now I don't due to how she acts. Everywhere we go with her, it's constant complaining that she is tired. Okay. The last girls' trip to the mall was spent sitting on a bench half the day since she needed the constant break. And if you try to leave, she will go on about abandoning her. It's annoying. Okay, yeah, I could see how that would get annoying, yeah. Okay, this is gonna be a tough one. This is a tough one. I invited the girls to go to a farm for pumpkin patch and pick some apples. It has big orchards and a ton of walking. We went, it was a great time, and some pictures went on Facebook. I got a call from Beth asking why she wasn't invited. I lied, saying it was just a family trip, and she accused me of lying. I had enough and told her the truth. I told her she wasn't invited due to her weight. I feel like you could have worded that better. You know, like I feel like, yeah.
Phrasing.
That she forced us to stop all the time and it ruins trips most days and we don't get to do half the stuff. She called me a jerk and hung up. I'm getting texts from my mom saying to apologize, but the girls are on my side and sick of having trips ruined since we have to wait for her all the time. Okay, so wait, so is she like obese? She is obese, her ankles are swollen from her weight. The connection between her weight and not walking far without a break is very obvious. Okay. I feel like this is going to upset some people, but the fact of the matter is there is such a thing as being a little bit overweight while still being active. It is very important to be active, to get a little bit of walking in every single day. It is good for you. It's good for your health. It's good for your mental health. And it's, you know, it's low impact. It doesn't really hurt your body so much, but it does get that heart rate up and it is good for you. If she can't even go like, 20 minutes without getting tired, like to me, if you can't even do like a shopping trip and get tired. Okay, listen, I can't do hikes because I get tired, all right? Shopping is my cardio. I can walk around a mall. If you can't even walk for an extended period of time without getting tired, I feel like that is a sign that we gotta start being a little more active, you know? And this is not to say anything about her weight. There's plenty of people who are overweight who are still active. It's important, it's healthy to do so, and it's unhealthy to just sit around all the time. It's literally the worst thing for your health to just sit around all the time. However, I feel like you could have worded that better. I feel like saying it's about the fact that you're fat, it's your weight. It's not her weight, it's her behavior that's affecting your outings and your ability to do your own exercise and your time with your daughters. Harshing the vibe. It's like her weight is indirectly, but kind of directly affecting everybody else. Tricky. We're all about body positivity here. You don't gotta be a size 0 for me to with you. I love my big girls.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
We gotta make sure that we're staying healthy, that we're taking care of ourselves. Big fan of taking care of yourself. Always. You're not the a-hole in my eyes, but you also could have worded that better. Let's see what everybody else had to say. At the risk of being called fat phobic, good for you, not the a-hole. Why should your trips revolve around her? Why should you be forced to plan outings that are within your daughter-in-law's step limit? Finally, you're free to only invite your actual daughters to things too. That is true. You aren't blocking her from any and all family gatherings, she just got blocked from this one, which I hope is the first of many trips you and your daughters have been putting off for her sake. Get out there and see the world, it is lovely. OP responds, I'm so tired of going somewhere and half the time is spent sitting on a bench. I want to do things, not sit around. Adding, you would have been better to just say this. After all, it's ultimately not about her weight. This is what I'm saying. It's about her behavior, which is indirectly caused by her weight. You could have directly addressed the behavior without the fat shaming. Yeah. I do think that you could have worded that better. I understand maybe tensions were high in that conversation. It is what it is. She's not too fat. She's too inactive. Won't call you the a-hole though because you have a good point. You just could have delivered it better. I completely agree. Okay, OP responds, my daughters have done that before. It's not getting through. I'm also sick of lying and coddling to her. We all know it's her weight. I was already pissed that she's asking why I went out with her, then being called a liar. The truth seems so much better in that moment. But truth is you didn't invite her because she isn't physically capable of doing the activities that you planned. Period. It doesn't matter the root cause. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's not about her weight. Unless maybe there is a little bit of, fat shaming in there, in which case maybe for you it's about the weight. But I feel like this is more about her behavior affecting everybody else's plans and ability to do any sort of physical activity. I also don't like that she's like stopping you guys from doing physical activity. Like she won't just like let you go and do your own thing while she takes a rest. Like that to me is like, you're not the a-hole, my dear, but you could have worded that better. I feel like there's like a new rating system. It says not the a-hole P mode. Does that mean you're not the a-hole, but you're kind of an a-hole? Am I the a-hole for giving my late husband's estate to a stranger instead of our kids?
Stranger danger! Stranger danger!
I, 55 female, had been married to my husband, male 60, for 20 years before he died. It was cancer. He had 2 kids from a past marriage who were in their early teens when he married me. I had a 7-year-old from an early relationship as well. We didn't have any more kids. I tried to treat my stepchildren as my own, but they never accepted me. They were very rude and insulted me whenever they could. Since I did not work, they called me a gold digger who married their dad only for his money. I'm sorry, and what do they do for work? Like, do they do anything, or are they just Nepo babies? I feel like you're only allowed to say that if you also bring something to the table. The truth was, my grandparents were quite wealthy and left me a ton of money when they died. Okay, so she's independently wealthy too. I lived well below my means and well below my weens. I lived below my weens. I lived well below my means and chose to stay home and raise my daughters since I could afford that. I did not need his money at all, but I didn't bother sharing this with the kids and told him not to either. I did not want them to like me just because they might gain monetarily from me. Well, this just got interesting. My husband, on the other hand, hated how they behaved with me. Their blatant disrespect made him not pay for their college tuition. Their mom couldn't pay for it and they had to take loans for it. They didn't even talk to him. Even when he got cancer, they refused to come and see him. Oh, hell no. Spoiled little brats. For 3 years, we struggled with the treatment. My daughter came to visit from time to time when she could. During this time, the only person who really helped us was someone we were not related to at all. This girl, in her late 20s, waitressed at a cafe we frequented. She was a single mom, taking classes at community college at night, working during the day, and raising her 2 kids. She took a liking to us, and when she learned my husband was sick, spent whatever time she could visiting him. She stayed nights at the hospital when I needed a break and basically was the daughter we wished for. I mean, hopefully it was out of the goodness of her heart and she didn't smell the money there, but I digress. We shall find out. When he died, she helped me arrange the funeral. His kids came on the day and all they wanted to know was about their inheritance. Oh, brother. Nothing. You get nothing. 0 zip.
Nada. 0 zilch. Nothing.
Honestly, the entitlement. Speaking as someone who has dealt with deaths in the family and everybody coming together at the end to pick up the scraps, it's definitely an awkward thing. It's not easy to deal with, especially when you realize how crazy family members get about money, especially at a time when we should be grieving. When I learned my husband left his estate to me, whatever's left after settling his bills, and it was around $25,000, I decided to give it to the girl who helped us both so much. She tried to refuse, but I insisted that she take it. She needed it and in my opinion deserved it more than the ungrateful children. Ooh, they're not gonna like that. My daughter understands why I didn't give it to his children, but is upset I didn't give anything to her. I told her she already had money and a job, not to mention she will get my inheritance. This was in no way her money. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Oh gosh, it's just a sticky situation, eh? Just like inheritance. Whoa, stay away. His ex-wife and kids are causing havoc over this and really upset with me. They are calling me the a-hole for giving away money they deserve. No, no, no. You don't deserve anything. You are not entitled to anything. When you walk through life biting the hand that feeds you, how can you really be surprised when things don't go your way? If they were smart, they would have tried to maintain a relationship with you at the very, very least. Or go see their father when he was in the hospital dying of cancer. You know? You're not the a-hole in my eyes. But let's see what everybody else had to say. They don't deserve the money. They want the money. There's a difference. I just went no contact with my parents literally 2 to 3 days ago. I know the odds are they will cut me out of their will. That's the thing, right? It's as simple as that. Don't got a good relationship with your parents? You got to be willing to kind of be cut out of the will. If you don't need the money, then fine. But if you do, I mean, you dumb as hell. I'm 100% okay with being cut out of the will. Being free of their toxicity is 100% worth giving up the money they may have given me. In all honesty, I don't know how I will feel if they do leave me money in their will. Do I even want to accept it? I honestly don't know. Taking the money won't fix the damage they caused. His adult children made choices in life, but now that he's gone, now that all of it is said and done, and now they're demanding money, I would look at them and say, aren't you quite the gold diggers? Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, that just tickled my fancy. All the British people are going, man, you said fanny, Charlie. It's tickling your fanny. Fancy, not fanny. The fancy was tickled with that line. Well done. You're not the a-hole, my dear. Moving on. Am I the a-hole for telling my parents that if they give my brother money, I will stop giving them money? God, family and money, they certainly don't go together, do they?
There's always money in the banana stand!
My female 32, brother 35 is trash. Trash. He has multiple baby mamas and is a deadbeat. He's also the apple of my mom's eye. He can do no wrong and is just misunderstood.
Here's my baby boy.
Give me a break. My parents are retired and on a fixed budget. I do well for myself and I help them out. I give them maybe $500 a month to help with groceries and bills. Oh no. Oh no. Every once in a while, I'll give them an extra for an unexpected expense. No questions asked. My mom asked me for $2,000. I sent it to her. Strangely enough, I ran into my brother at a family wedding. I had been told he could not afford to attend because it was a destination wedding. Weird. Funny story, he actually missed the wedding because he hooked up with a rando on an excursion and went to their resort. Oh yeah, so that he just wanted a nice little free vacation there, eh? It was my cousin's wedding and my aunt was pissed. She had to make special arrangements to get him included on the trip since he only got the money last minute. She said my mom shouldn't have given him the money if he wasn't even going to show up. So your brother is 35 years old and still accepting money from your parents? Did I have that correctly? How are you not embarrassed? Ugh, brother. Literally, oh brother. I enjoyed the wedding and we had a great time. When I got home, I went to see my parents. I asked my mom why she asked for the $2,000. I asked my mom why she had asked for the $2,000. She lied and said something for the house. I asked what? She couldn't say. Ugh. I told her what my aunt said. I told her and my father that from now on I wanted receipts for any money I gave them. I said I have no problem helping them, but I will be damned if I work my ass off for her to give my money to my piece of brother. She started crying and my dad said they weren't children and didn't answer to me. I mean, they do when you're the one that's giving them the money. That's your money, babes. I agreed and walked out. I didn't talk to them for 2 months. My aunt called me yesterday and told me that my parents were thinking of going to the food bank since they didn't have any money. I said I had given them $2,000 a couple of months ago, and that was more than my family of 3 spent on food at that time. She said I knew well they had given my money to my brother. I told her he should probably pay them back then. She said I was being a bitch. Am I the a-hole? I really hate it when people hold the whole like,
But we're family.
thing over your head. I think that your brother has just gotten so used to everybody just bending to his will, giving him money, that it's created an entitlement in him where he doesn't feel the need to get a job. I'm assuming he doesn't really have a job because he can't afford to go on a vacation with you guys and your parents are secretly giving him money. But by kind of coming to his rescue all the time, you're essentially saying that he doesn't ever have to screw up or work for it on his own because there will always be someone that will swoop in and save him. That is not how we raise healthy adults, my friends. Not sure how much raising can be done still since he's 35 and still taking money from his parents who also can't afford to live. Like, how are you not embarrassed? How are you not embarrassed that you are taking money from your parents who now have to go to a food bank? I'm still confused as to why your parents still think he's like this golden child that can do no wrong when he put them in this situation. OP, you are not the a-hole, your parents are. They've created this monster and now you're supporting him. They're using you as a cash cow. Yes, it's true, they don't answer to you, but if you're footing the bill, then they damn well better tell you where the money is going. Receipts! I need a receipt.
The truth is the numbers speak for themselves.
The audacity for them to say,
You can't tell me what to do. I'm not a child. Me.
okay, yeah, you're not a child, but like also, I gave you that money. And your aunt calling you a is funny. If she cares so much about your parents, she should be footing the bill. Oh, there you go. There's a little plot twist I approve of. Which I highly doubt because people are always want to talk but never to sign the check. Stand your ground and let them suffer a little so they understand. They won't die over eating some food from the food bank for once. Ain't nothing wrong with the food bank. They had $2,000 in cash last month, and what did they do with it? I am like so surprised that they're mad at you. Like, I would be so mad at that son for putting them in that situation. I can't imagine the nerve the parents have giving the lazy brother $2,000 of your money to attend a destination wedding, and he doesn't even show up at the wedding. This entitlement at its finest, babes. It's not his money, so it doesn't matter how he spends it. This is what happens when lazy people are given other people's money. They don't treasure it, they don't appreciate it, they waste it. I'm all about taking care of the people that are close to you. If you enjoy a little bit of success, you gotta share it with the ones that you love. I've always been of that opinion, and honestly, just getting to the point where I'm able to like give back is something that I'm very, very, very happy about. Like, that is like one of the best things about like getting a little bit of financial security is getting to take my parents out for dinner and getting to help my brother and you know, helping my friends with their ventures and stuff like that. Like, that to me makes me very, very happy. But I have noticed that as you start to give a little bit, they always come back for more. And not only that, they're a little less grateful every single time. So by all means, help the people around you. Take care of your parents. They took care of you growing up. But just be mindful though, that when you give an inch, people take a mile. My mother-in-law says I shouldn't wear white on my wedding day because I'm not pure. Sorry for the extremely long post. I love the long posts, bestie. More of those. I, 32 female, am planning my wedding to my fiance, 30 male, but his mother has a problem with every choice and decision I've made. For context, I met his parents, his father and stepmother, before I met him. I worked closely with his father, and after a family tragedy, I met my now fiance. One of his younger sisters passed away. That's sad. Sorry to hear. I was already in a relationship when we met, but it wasn't a good one. He never stopped trying though. Hopefully you waited until you were out of that relationship. After I found out that I was pregnant, my boyfriend at the time decided he was not going to stick around. Fiance's parents took me in and held me through a lot of sadness and grief. In comes my knight in shining tinfoil. His words. He took me to the doctor's appointments, helped me when I had morning sickness, and brought me chocolate and ice cream when I just needed to cry it out. That's when it all started to go downhill. Mother-in-law would make sly and rude comments about my weight. While you were pregnant? Does she know you're eating for two? And how she wished her son would, quote, find someone who would have waited to make a family with him. For all intents and purposes, my son is his. Fiance is the only dad my son has known. Father-in-law would say things along the lines of, if I wanted my son to date you, I would have introduced you to earlier. I just shrugged it off and just focused on being as healthy as possible for my baby. That's stressful to be around that, as if you don't have it hard enough. I have severe anxiety and depression, so making sure my mental health is stable is what's most important, but not not their words. It just kept getting worse. Fiance wasn't able to be there for the birth of my son because he was working outside of the state at the time. He was sad that he wasn't able to be there, but calls me every day to check on us. I had to have an emergency C-section because my son and I both had issues with the anesthesia and our BPs plummeted. I almost passed away and my son wasn't breathing when he arrived into this world. I later found out that mother-in-law and father-in-law never told him I was in labor. Okay. I'm not a fan. And he was still at home when I went to the hospital. He could have been there. Ooh, we got some meddling that honestly, you can't really come back from that. That's kind of messed up. A week later, my son and I were able to go home and recover. Mother-in-law started immediately sending my posts and TikToks about how to get back into shape. Give it a minute. I've always been a bigger girl and struggled with my fertility. I had my son, 3 male, when I was 29. They always told me how important it was for their son to be with someone who cares about their health. Mother-in-law would also talk nonstop about how her and her daughter went right back to their normal size after having kids.
Isn't that nice?
Lucky.
Mother-in-law also liked to point out how skinny her daughter was, even while she was pregnant.
I don't like it one bit.
I found out I was pregnant with my first daughter a month before my son's first birthday. Fiance and I were ecstatic that our little family was growing, even if it was faster than we'd hoped. All 3 of my children were conceived while on BC. BC is birth control, I'm assuming. After our daughter, 2 female, was born, we talked about possibly getting married. I've never been super girly, but the one thing I always imagined was my wedding. I told him I wouldn't have a problem making it official, I just don't want anything super traditional or uppity. It's a celebration after all. I had lost my stepdad as a teenager, so I wouldn't have had anyone to walk me down the aisle. So our wedding would look a little different, and I didn't want him to propose to me unless my family was there also. Fast forward to my son's 2nd birthday, my son and I were on a scavenger hunt for his birthday present, and it ended in our family standing in a semicircle around my fiance on one knee. It was beautiful. Oh, be still, my heart. He got me a beautiful hexagonal moss agate ring. Hey, is it agate or agate?
Agate.
And my mom and grandma were there. Literally 5 minutes later, mother-in-law was asking about the wedding plans. I absolutely despise when people do this. We just got engaged. If you're not engaged, people are like,
When are you getting married? When are you gonna pop the question?
then you get engaged and it's like, well, when's the wedding? You get the wedding done and then it's like, when are you having kids? Shut the f up. Stop rushing people. Because then people are being rushed into situations without like thinking clearly, and not because they want to be in that situation, but because of like pressure from everybody else.
I don't need your opinion.
Fiance and I had agreed on a fall wedding. She said we should do it in the spring. We agreed on burgundy, teal, and dusty rose with silver accents. She said we should do purple and gold. How about new? I want a rustic, bohemian wedding. She said it should be formal. Well, it's not her wedding, is it? I want to wear an informal white dress and cowboy boots with a flower crown instead of a veil. This is where I decided mother-in-law was never going to be okay with fiance and I being together. She told me I shouldn't wear a white dress because I'm not pure. She says it isn't proper or right for me to wear white because I had children outside of wedlock. Oh my lord. Super traditional, I see. But here's the kicker. This woman wasn't married until 5 years after having 3 children. She wore white. Ah, the irony. She's just trying to make you feel bad. It's almost like they're projecting their own problems on you. Maybe she feels that way about herself. I explained to her that none of the women in my family were pure before getting married and they all wore white. And I wasn't having a traditional wedding, so traditional aspects of a wedding weren't important to me. She lost it, calling me a and telling me I was ruining the sanctity of marriage. She's been married twice before and is still technically married to her second. Father-in-law and her only held a ceremony, not legally married. I know this because I was literally there. You see the projection? Don't throw stones when you live in a glass house, honey. I ended the conversation about it and told my fiance that I didn't want their opinions on our special day. Is your fiance kind of privy to these conversations? Because it kind of seems like he's being a bit of a pushover and he needs to stand up for you. His parents said they weren't going to pay for anything if they didn't get a say in the planning. We never asked them to pay for anything. Most of the planning is around the reception anyway. I decided it would be fun to do a potluck/barbecue. We provide the meal and dessert, everyone else provides the sides. The venue I found is free for a day use and a $50 cleanup fee for the night use. Sounds great to me. Your wedding Your rules. It is outside with well-kept porta-johns, and they will rent tables, chairs, and all the other odds and ends for a $100 charge. Perfect. This is the thing about accepting money from parents. You accept the money from the parents, and then they kind of have the right to say whether you should invite certain people, where you should hold it. I feel like it's almost like a way for them to like get their grubby little paws all over the planning. It's cleaner to just do it yourself. But if you're accepting money from your in-laws or your parents, you kind of have to be a little bit like willing to make compromises.
Compromises are language of the devil.
Even with 2 small children, we could afford everything we needed. My dress, shoes, and accessories are only $150 combined. I'm hand making all the bouquets. I don't know that word. Boutonneries. Boutonnieries.
Boutonneries. Is that how you say it? We shall say it in a French accent.
Because it makes sense. And centerpieces out of felt designs I found of lilies and succulents, and old formula cans. The bridesmaids' dresses are about $80 a piece and can be worn a multitude of ways. And the groomsmen's shirts are $30 and are just going to be styled with a nice pair of blue jeans and boots. The colors I chose give the wearers the ability to wear them more than once for a decent price. Sounds like you're being super accommodating to everyone in this wedding. Mother-in-law is now saying I'm tacky, and I'm just trying to exclude her and sister-in-law from everything. Well, I mean, if all you have to say is criticism, then I probably wouldn't want to include you either. Just saying. Sister-in-law is one of my bridesmaids and told me she won't be helping because she doesn't like the theme. Okay, again, this is literally not your wedding, not your problem. You're not paying for it, they're paying for it, so what is the big deal?
Why do you even care?
One of my younger sisters is going to be our photographer. She's trying to get her business up and running and asked if she could gift me her time and use my wedding as practice/advertising. I agreed immediately. Another one of my sisters is an amateur baker. She's giving us a small cake to cut. The list of things I'm upcycling for this wedding/reception is long, but hopefully you get the picture. Ain't nothing wrong with that, baby girl. Truth be told, the wedding industry is so unbelievably out of control, and you can DIY a lot of it. It creates more work for you because you're not relying on vendors to kind of realize your vision, but you can save money on a wedding, and one of the ways that you save money is by doing things yourself, by getting other people to help out, by holding some sort of potluck where everybody contributes. I have lots of friends who DIY decor. Like I had a friend who used dried flowers instead of real flowers because the flower bill was going to be so insane. She also DIY'd this like moss selfie mirror for the reception, which was a way for people to take photos. And I had another friend who had people make the desserts for her wedding. All in all, those weddings I think cost like maybe 10 grand or less. Pretty good considering most weddings can exceed that quite easily if you're going with vendors. Mother-in-law is fuming. She doesn't even want you to get married to her son either, so like, what does it matter how you do it? At least you're not spending a lot of money. To placate her, we agreed to move the wedding to the spring of 2024. But in November of 2023, I found out I was pregnant again. I would have been 7 months pregnant at the time of our wedding. We decided to postpone the wedding until after I had the baby. She's been pressuring us to get married ever since she found out we're having another... I'm not going to use that word. That word is not used in polite conversation. For all of you keeping track, yes, that's 3 babies in 3 years. I had our third and final baby 3 months ago. I am thankful we postponed though, because 4 months later, my mom passed. 3 months after losing my mom, my last surviving grandparent passed. So in the span of 6 months, I lost my mom and grandma and was a month away from having my baby. Ugh, girly pop. You'd think that they'd try to make your life a little bit easier. The birth of my second daughter was traumatic to say the least. And a week later, I had to go in for an emergency surgery to remove a gigantic hematoma from my abdomen that formed because of the traumatic birth. After 3 months, I'm finally healed from surgery and able to work out and get back into healthy shape. I'm still grieving the loss of 2 of the most important people in my life. This year has made me come to the realization that what's important is we are happy and my family is safe together. Fiance says he wishes he could have had more time with his mother-in-law. He misses her too. We're hoping to have our reception in autumn of 2025. We've decided to elope and only had the closest people there with us when we say our vows. Yeah, honestly, at this point, it's kind of like your in-laws are just creating massive problems for you. And it's like, if they don't want to be happy for you, then they shouldn't be a part of the wedding. Either you don't have the wedding with them or you elope. I think it's worse to have a wedding and not invite them. I think eloping is like, by the way, we're married. Suck my dick. I'm still doing all the things I planned for our wedding, tacky or not. I hope mother-in-law hates it. My mother would be so proud of how I'm handling my issues with my mother-in-law. Sickly, sweet customer service always pisses a Karen off, and my mother lived to piss Karens off. The best way to deal with someone like this is to not let them get to you. And like your mother does, sickly sweet. Kiss and a slap. Don't ever show that they've gotten to you. Keep your cool, because nothing you say or do is going to change how they feel about you. I mean, in some cases, you need to have like kind of a showdown with your mother-in-law. But I love the decision to elope. And I think after watching a ton of these videos, a lot of people have told me that they're just eloping because they don't want to deal with the pressure and the drama and the BS. It is my opinion that you should not bring any problems to the bride and groom that don't need to be brought. It's already a stressful enough process, especially considering you were doing a lot of the stuff yourself. Plenty of other things to think about. You don't need drama and BS put on your plate for no reason. Yeah, I would recommend going low contact with them. I do wish that your fiance would stick up for you a little more. Based on what you've shared, it doesn't really seem like he is as involved, but wait, we have an update. This is more of an edit, but I'm not very tech savvy and I'm brand new to stuff like this. For context, I was diagnosed with PCOS and endometriosis at 16, and I was told it would be virtually impossible to have a viable pregnancy. It wasn't until I was 29 that I had my first viable pregnancy. I have 5 angel babies waiting for me in heaven. Oh my goodness. Sounds like you've had a really, really difficult time. You can't let it get to you though. My mother-in-law is my fiance's stepmom. It's giving evil stepmother. Not that it matters, but I saw a lot of comments saying that we should go no contact with his mom and her fake husband. Mother-in-law and father-in-law have been together the entire time I've known them, and they were together for many years before that. Mother-in-law was around more than fiance's bio mom ever was, so that holds a lot of weight in his life. Oh, fine. Mother-in-law had a very rough upbringing, not making excuses, just giving context. She had her first in high school and was on her own within a year of having her child. Then why judge other people? Like, do you just hate yourself? Is that what's really going on here? Kind of sounds like it. She worked hard to provide for her baby and still graduate. With a life like this, you would think that it would make you a little more understanding of like non-traditional couples and non-traditional pregnancies and marriages, especially because you went through it. So why make someone else's life hell? Maybe people made her life hell. Maybe she felt like that was the only way to go about it.
Hurt people hurt people.
She married her first husband, who was extremely abusive and controlling. She had 2 more children and was able to leave after 10 years, a long fight for her life. She met her second husband, who had 2 children already, and 5 years into their marriage, number 2 transitioned. They separated but raised their children together still. In mother-in-law's words, there was never any love lost. It was just the man I loved and married no longer existed. I mean, it sounds like she's understanding in this case. Why not be understanding with you? Sometime after that, she married and started a relationship with father-in-law. Father-in-law and mother-in-law are recovering alcoholics. Most of the rude and nasty things said about me were during this time. Once again, I'm not making excuses, just trying to give context. Yeah, I guess that gives a little bit of context. But if you've gotten to a point with alcoholism where it makes you a nasty person, probably time to stop. Since my mom and grandma passing away, I've seen a softer side to both of them. They've been sober for just over a year and a half. We are still low contact, but I'm hoping one day we can see this as just a rough patch and move past it. Kind of sounds like you're here to stay, baby girl, so it's better for everybody if they just suck it up. Mother-in-law likes to control everything. She makes all meals for every holiday and birthday. She hosts every time she can. It can be frustrating, but she has some health complications in the last 4 years, which she had no control over. So I guess this is the one thing she can control. Her giving her opinions and suggestions is just another way she's trying to control the life around her. It can be about control. I know sometimes it's about teaching. I know sometimes it's like the control thing is a way they show they care. There's a right way to do it. Offering help is not the same thing as trying to control a situation. The fact that she kind of says like, you know, nasty jabs to you about your body and stuff like that, and the fact that you're not pure, so to speak, it's kind of just mean for no reason. Number 6, we decided to elope. Seeing as I don't have much family left and all the hurdles we are having to jump over, we realized it would be better for all of us if we just hosted a huge celebration later after we say our vows. I will be wearing my white dress and cowboy boots, and that's on period. I will be decorating in our agreed upon colors, and none of the plans for our reception have changed. I will be celebrating for the life and success of a marriage I never thought would happen. Thank you all for helping me work through my issues and being a sounding board to the things flying through my head. I hope you're all blessed in this life. I don't know if you need any advice from me or from us, but get a load of the dress, guys. This isn't her in the photo, but this is apparently what her dress would look like. With some cowboy boots, girl. Yeehaw. Am I the a-hole for replying to a mother-in-law with quotes from Glenn Close as Cruella after she made it clear she wanted to outshine the bride?
Quiet down there! I said quiet in my court!
You babysitting. So it was a slow day at the bridal shop I worked at, and I was doing some work at the computer. Then this woman comes in with her bestie and looks at me and says, "Where can I find a sexy dress for a wedding? I just lost 100 pounds and I want to outshine the bride." I beg your finest pardon. Bold of you to say that. At first, I was going to congratulate her for her weight loss journey until she said that last part. She would then go on to state before I could answer, "I want to wear either white or red to really make a statement."
That's what you would call tacky.
White, as you know, is a well-known no-no for a wedding and if you aren't the bride. But red is a tricky one as it's usually associated in bridal with adultery. And for someone to wear it not in the bridal party is usually claiming the groom as theirs. All of the little symbolisms. People have done this on purpose. Exes, people who slept with him, jealous besties who wanted him. The wearing the red is a little bit more unclear. I've seen people wear red to a wedding and it looks really good. I think wearing the red is like pushing it a bit. The rules for the wedding. I say if you want to wear red, but like it's worse if people know that you've like had an affair with the groom or something like that and then you choose to wear red. If you're just some rando wearing red, that's different. Anyway, now having that, my go-to response was to channel Cruella de Vil. And I said, "Oh, you poor thing. I'm so sorry for you." She ignored this and proceeded to pick out some short red club dresses I had. Then after putting one on, asked what I thought of it. And I said, "Oh, darling, red isn't really your color." She audibly huffed and walked back into the dressing room, and to my surprise, because I never saw her grab it, I was basically refusing to be an accomplice to this. She came out in a glamorous, rhinestone-covered, open back, and sheer bodice wedding dress. How are you not embarrassed for yourself? Not only do you want to wear a dress that symbolizes you sleeping with your son, but you also want to wear a wedding dress where people would mistake you for the bride and the groom is your son.
It's not making sense, bestie.
She looked like she was trying to recapture her wedding from her 20s at 55. I stayed silent. She didn't want to know what I thought and then asked, "What's your return policy in case my daughter-in-law's friends decide to spill wine on me?" I would say no returns. And if they spill wine on you, then you deserved it. For what reason? Is it because you're an absolute nightmare? I have personal beef with you, madam. The way she's gallivanting around and bragging about the fact that she's going to ruin her son's wedding. Like, shut up. Take several seats. This woman knew exactly what she was doing and the consequences, but we had a no return policy, so I smiled sweetly, and in the most beautifully sassy and petty tone, I said, "What can I say? Accidents will happen, and purchases are final." That was nice, satisfying, yet deserved. She then looks at me and finally catches on and asks, "Do you have a problem with me?" I do. I have personal beef with you, in case you're wondering. I've done nothing wrong. Let's think. You walked into a bridal shop loudly proclaiming that you want to outshine the bride. You want to wear a white dress to your own son's wedding in order to upstage the bride. You want to wear a red dress that is inappropriate to the wedding of your son and obviously try to hurt the bride's feelings. So yes, you haven't done anything wrong yet, but you want to do something wrong. Oh yes, you do. I replied, "Ma'am, you come into my store and ask me to help you ruin a wedding." She clutched her figurative pearls and said, "I said no such thing." To which I said, "No, you said you want to outshine the bride, which is how you want to ruin the wedding. But I have news for you. As I work in the industry and you wear white to that girl's wedding, you will look like a fool. And that's before you get so embarrassed after wine accidentally spills all over your dress, which no bridal salon in their right mind will take back a dress covered in wine. They'll take back a dress that like came with issues. They won't take back a dress, honestly, in the bridal industry, that you're done. Like you put the deposit down and that's it. You pay for it." She was so flustered by how I spoke to her, she went back into the changing room and left with her shirt inside out and her pants on backwards. I'd like to think I saved the bride from the shadows. So are you the a-hole? No, my dear, you are the hero. You are my hero. Cause for real, like seriously, what did you expect the women in this store, this bridal store, how did you expect them to react? "Oh, goody.
Yes, let's ruin a wedding.
Absolutely not. Not your audience, my dear. Too bad you don't know the bride to give her a heads up, but you may have to put the fear of karma in mother-in-law. Good job. OP responds, I wish I did. I would have contacted her immediately. Hopefully I scared this woman enough with the consequences of her actions. I'm curious to know what happened at this wedding. Am I the a-hole for suing my parents for my college money? That's a little extreme, but okay, let's, you may be seated.
She hasn't made an appearance in a while.
My great aunt set up a savings account for all of her female relatives. In our culture, education for women, it's not really valued, and she thought that was BS. She lived with her father in London where she was educated. She went on to attend university and become a doctor. She married a British man. They moved to America and had a great life. She funded the education of as many of her nieces and grandnieces as she could. When she passed away, she left money for every girl relative she could. My parents managed to access the accounts that were set up for my sister and I. They used it to pay for my brother's wedding. My sister didn't care because she got married 2 years out of high school and had no intention of going to college. When I graduated, I went to the bank to get money for school and it was almost gone. There was like $13,000 left. I asked my parents about it and they said they had needed the money. I finally found out where the money went. I got furious. I got student loans and moved out. I'm a great source of shame to them and I don't give two fricks. I'm sorry, needed the money for what? That was your money. That's yours, babe, not theirs.
Yes, that's actually why we're here.
I'm currently suing them for the money that was left for me. My entire family's against me. But like they also got the money though, right? I'm sure they would feel differently if they also didn't get the money. They all think I'm a complete a-hole for airing private family business in public. Yeah, but they're also an a-hole for stealing your money. I always find it super funny when people are like, you're embarrassing me. Like, I'm so mad at you for You're embarrassing yourself.
Facts.
Why are you embarrassed about something that you did? Why are you embarrassed about what people think about it? Oh, because it's horrible and that I'm putting money ahead of family. Interesting choice of words. My friends are all on my side, but they're all Americans and don't really get my culture. Neither do I, to be honest.
I can relate to that.
My brother called me up and offered to pay for my university if I dropped the lawsuit. I agreed as long as we had a legally binding contract. Contract, that's what's up. I love contracts. I love a good contract.
Weirdo.
He said I was being an a-hole for not trusting him. No, contracts. I said he should not have accepted my money for his wedding. Ah, that's where the money went. Got it.
Excuse me, we just went over this.
It is causing all kinds of embarrassment in our community. I'm somewhat ashamed to be doing this, but I don't want to have this debt I should not have. I fail to understand why they thought it was okay to give all of your college money to your brother so he could have a wedding. Like at first I was going to be like, but no, why all of it? Why couldn't you have split it? No, you're not the a-hole, dear, but like let's figure out what everybody else had to say. Cause like I feel like this is like a reasonable reason to sue your parents. Not the a-hole. Your parents didn't borrow your money. They stole it. Period. I hope you have all the documents to show that money was yours. Your brother is also the a-hole for trying to get you to drop a lawsuit with what is mostly a lie. See, this is why you don't trust me. Yeah, I don't trust you guys. That's why I want it in writing. If you have a chance to start a life without student debt, you do whatever you can to do that. Your parents, and I'm sorry about their culture, sound completely toxic. I'm glad you got out. The student law center at my university is helping me with everything. I have proof that the money was mine. I'm trying to do everything I can so this does not become a criminal matter. What I don't understand is like, why is it that you had to like go to the bank account and try to take out money for you to finally find out that there was no money? Like, why is it that that wasn't articulated to you that, you know, oh, like, I'm so sorry. Would it be okay if we used your money to help pay for your brother's wedding? We'll pay you back, etc., etc. No. They didn't tell you because they stole it. I'm sorry, but this is a criminal matter. If this was for an American university, you're talking $200K to $300K. Theft of that much is jail time. Yeah, he's not wrong. And to spend on a wedding, a total waste of money. Yeah, that's an obscene amount of money to spend on a wedding. Like an education will help you for the rest of your life. A wedding has a 50% chance of ending in divorce. You're always gonna have your college degree. You're not always gonna be married. I mean, I hope you are, genuinely, but like, you might not be. It's just statistics, don't blame me.
I like those odds.
I'm kind of confused as to why this family thinks that a wedding is way more important than like a college education. Like if you don't have the money for a big wedding, don't have a big wedding. You're not the a-hole, my dear. I hope you get that money back. Sue 'em all! Am I the a-hole for uninviting my mother-in-law for my wedding after she tried to sabotage my wedding dress. My future mother-in-law has never been a fan of me for the entire duration of mine and my fiance's relationship. I'm not sure exactly why she's always disliked me, because that's her job, babe. She's your mother-in-law.
Checks out.
And been cold to me, but after multiple attempts over the years to build some type of relationship with her, we've been together for 4 years, nothing has worked. She couldn't give two shices about me up until the wedding planning started a few months ago. My fiance and I are paying for the majority of the wedding ourselves, while my dad and stepmom are financially contributing as well. Mother-in-law and father-in-law have not contributed at all, but mother-in-law is giving her opinion on everything as if she's footing the bill. Oh, that's fun. You should make the themes this color. Make sure you have this dish on the menu. Do not do an open bar. You don't want people being too rowdy. Excuse me. Stay in your lane. Make sure me and my sister and my cousin are sitting front row at the wedding ceremony. No, sorry, that's reserved for people we like. My fiance and I are absolutely sick of this. Every time she tries to give an opinion, we politely shut it down and tell her we have it under control, but she never gets the hint. Well, then you gotta spell it out.
Get it off!
Before she became such a nightmare, I regretfully invited her to come dress shopping because I didn't want her to feel left out. While a few weeks ago we went dress shopping, my mom and close friends came too, and I found my dream wedding dress. I have a curvy hourglass figure, and I found a dress that shows off my figure perfectly and makes me feel gorgeous. Period, babe. That's what's up. The dress is kind of revealing, low cut on the chest and mermaid style, but it's nothing I'd be ashamed of my family and friends seeing me in. My mother-in-law, on the other hand, hated the dress I chose. She made sure to express that to me multiple times. She even went as far as to say, "This is a wedding, not a strip club. I don't like it." Well, then you don't have to come.
That's what she said.
I bought the dress anyway since I'm the one paying for it after all. Yeah, and it's your wedding. You can wear whatever the hell you damn well please. Last night, my fiance are cleaning up after dinner and I receive a call from the shop I ordered my dress from. They called me concerned because apparently a lady, my mother-in-law, called pretending to be me and wanted to switch the dress I chose to a more appropriate dress. I'm sorry, what? Absolutely not. The sales associate realized that it wasn't my phone number that called to make the change and called me immediately to confirm before they changed the order. I was livid. My fiance heard the entire conversation and was livid as well. He called his mom to confront her. She fessed up after denying it a few times. I told her if she's so bothered by the dress to consider herself uninvited from the wedding and hung up on her. That's good. I agree with this. And it's not about her, like, not agreeing with the dress. It's also about her, like, blatantly disrespecting you, too. Like, telling you that you look like a slut in a dress that you really liked. Can we, like, remove that word from our vocabulary? No need for it to be there. Safe to say she's not happy. She's been calling both my husband and I nonstop to try and defend herself, but I've had enough. But did she apologize? I feel bad for my fiance because he won't get to have his planned dance with her. Did I take it too far? Am I the a-hole? No, you're not. Being invited to a wedding is a privilege. Just because you're family, that doesn't mean that you are entitled to an invite.
What's that supposed to mean?
And you are certainly not entitled to an invite if you acted like a crazy bitch.
Crazy! People be out here acting crazy!
Let's see what Reddit had to say. Not the a-hole. I would have done the same thing, but you and your fiance need to be in lockstep on this. So if he starts hedging, don't go through with the wedding until you're both on the same page. I know it's probably going to be hard for him because it is his mom at the end of the day. However, if she doesn't apologize and doesn't change her ways, then, like, it's literally no fault but her own. The consequences of your actions. I am glad that your fiance seems to support you on this. It would have been all kinds of a disaster if he didn't support you and didn't see where his mother-in-law was in the wrong. Making this decision without unilateral support of the fiance is a recipe for disaster. This is his mom and his wedding too. He needs to be the one to make the final call with you, or it will start this marriage off with a resentment from him. Not the a-hole though would be my reaction as well. If he's not on the same page, then perhaps she needs to rethink who she's marrying. I think that y'all should wait until she apologizes. Because if she hasn't apologized, then she doesn't think that she did anything wrong, which is the problem. You know, if that apology was genuine, I would reconsider. Genuinely. People who are big enough to apologize, it's a good thing. It shows character. It shows you're willing to take responsibility and learn from your mistakes. It helps in, like, every situation if you're having a fight. But if you do not apologize, that resentment just builds up, and it just means that you're not sorry. You're not the a-hole, my dear.
Do we got time for one more? I'm on a roll right now.
There's always room for one more.
Am I the a-hole for refusing to attend my twin brother's wedding? Messy, messy. I, 21 male, first started dating my now ex-girlfriend when we were both 16. However, we made the decision to break up before heading off to college when we were 18. I decided to go a few hours away while she decided to stay local. Also note that my girlfriend was very close with my family, so this was hard on my family as well. When returning home for my first year of college, oh no. Oh no. My brother surprised me with the news that he'd been dating a girl for over 6 months now. Only problem, it was my ex-girlfriend. Oh, that is all kinds of weird, honey. All kinds of freaky.
Why would you date an amateur when you could date a professional?
I was obviously pissed, and my brother understood, but made it clear he had no intention of breaking up with her. That doesn't, like, gross you out? Like, what? That is so, like... Eventually, we came to the agreement that we would continue our relationship if he never mentioned her to me or made us interact. He happily agreed to these terms. However, recently my brother surprised me with the news that the two of them are now engaged. Wow. It's always weird when there's a love triangle with, you know, a sibling. He wants me to be his best man. Oh, fun. That's fun. I told him absolutely not, as you should, babe. He and I agreed from the beginning that I would not have to attend any event where my ex would be there. My whole family's calling me selfish and telling me that I can suck it up for one night, but I just don't feel comfortable in being the best man at my ex's wedding.
You got yourself into quite a little predicament, didn't you?
Am I the a-hole for refusing to go to the wedding and be his best man? For clarification, yes, we are identical twins. Oh, that is so gross. Oh, all kinds of freaky. It seems like you're the only one that has a reasonable brain. I am really grossed out by this. You were really young when you guys first met, right? The ex-girlfriend, I mean. It would have been one thing if, like, you really, you know, you were with this person for a really long time. I'm glad that they didn't cheat, because that would have been even more messy. And you also did break up with her, so it would have been another thing if you were, like, in love with this girl, etc., etc. I still think it's weird. Like, how did that conversation come about, you know? Like, how did that come about? Not the a-hole, those were your terms. He agreed to them, end of story. OP, who cares who was the a-hole here? It's done. She is gonna be your sister-in-law. That is a good point. I do think that I agree. You do have to, like, talk to him about it, as weird as it is. You don't have to be besties, but I mean to never go to, like, another Christmas or family dinner or anything again. I agree. It's weird and you're not in the wrong for feeling like it's weird. It is, but it doesn't necessarily seem like he's gonna be breaking up with her, so. It likely has nothing to do with him not moving on from his ex. Yeah, I mean, he could not be over her, that's one thing. But the fact that his brother and longtime ex-girlfriend started dating within the year of them breaking up. Honestly, it's freaking disgusting what they did, and OP's in the right for not wanting to be involved in a relationship based on such a huge betrayal to him. And just honestly feeling, like, kind of grossed out. Like, that's icky. You're not the a-hole, but you need to figure out if you want your brother in your life or not. Gotta figure out if you're willing to get over it. Cause yeah, it's gross. Am I the a-hole for threatening to ban my brother from my wedding because he plans on proposing to his girlfriend during the reception?
It's a total move.
We shall reserve judgment. I, 25 male, am getting married in December. My fiance, 24 female, and I are both very excited and busy planning. And this incident is making things much more stressful. A couple weeks ago, I was talking about the wedding with my brother, 30 male, and he asked if it'd be okay for him to propose to his girlfriend at our wedding. Why are you even asking that? Why are you asking? That is a resounding no. Absolutely no. I laughed and said, yeah, sure, if you want to get your handed to you by my fiance. He laughed and I figured he got the message.
But he didn't.
The other day, my fiance came to me in tears saying my brother had called her and thanked her for letting him propose at the what? I'm sorry, are we like a little slow? Not all there. You telling him that your fiance will kick his ass if he proposes at her wedding is not a yes. That is an absolutely not.
Are you sure?
No way in hell. She told him that never happened and he wasn't allowed to do that. And he laughed and thanked her again. What? Oh, buddy. What the hell? Delulu. I called my brother back and asked him what was going on. He's insisting he's gonna propose to his girlfriend at the wedding. He claims it's getting even for when I announced our engagement at the same family dinner he brought his girlfriend to meet the family.
Ooh, the plot thickens.
That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. This is a wedding. I had no idea. They arrived separately and she got there after I had made the announcement. I told him if he doesn't get it through his head that he's absolutely not allowed to propose, both him and his girlfriend will not be allowed allowed into the wedding at all. And if he tries to pull a stunt, he will be kicked out immediately. He didn't take it well and he told the whole family. My fiance and I have been getting calls and messages from them telling us how crappy we are for doing that. How dare I turn my back on my brother? Oh, I see. Oh, how funny. So you're not the favorite, eh?
Ouch.
I find it interesting that we're choosing to ignore the fact that he's completely going against your wishes and threatening to propose at your wedding, despite you saying that you are not comfortable with it. How are you the a-hole? He's also now blaming me for spoiling the proposal to his girlfriend and the family because if I hadn't been such an ass, he wouldn't have had to break the news to family like this. I'm so... Yeah? You sure about that? I still fail to understand how this is your fault because he was the one that needed to tell his family. He's the one that told them, not you. I still stand by what I did. I don't think I was out of line at all, but my fiance thinks we should have just let him propose to avoid conflict. No, this is a hill you need to die on. A big, petty mound of a hill. Do not buckle. There's already conflict. You're already in it, so just, like, deal with it.
Drama?
I know it means a lot to her that everyone gets along and there's no hard feelings, especially since she's feeling stressed as it is. But I don't want to give in to my brother. Am I the a-hole? You're not the a-hole. I don't understand, like, he's getting back at you for, you know, announcing your engagement, whatever. But you're also affecting his fiance, too. It's not just your brother. Your brother's being so unbelievably self-absorbed. Not the a-hole, it's your wedding. Besides, proposing at a wedding is super awkward. Like, the wedding is about the couple, not someone who's going to be getting married in the future. Honestly, like, you're just saving your brother from embarrassment. It's so inappropriate. They both clearly said no. If he can't respect that simple of boundaries, then he's not going to make a good husband. Not the a-hole, it's your special day and one that is going to be filled with so many good memories for you. Do not let your brother spoil that day for your significant other. You got a little petty with your brother, whatever sibling rivalry, that's fine. But like, why do you need to take it out on the bride? It's not her fault that you guys might not have the best relationship. Like, it's not just about you. It's also about your bride. Long haul plan. All right, we got a plan. Let's see if this plan is good. We'll rate it on a scale of 1 to go time. Let him propose. You and the wife plan a life event. Then at their wedding, announce your news and make it something like, excuse me, everyone, I'd like to take this opportunity to tell everyone our news. The bluff plan. Alternatively, tell him he can propose on the condition that you get a half-hour slot at his wedding. Tell him it's a surprise and never let up what it will be until he says he won't do it. I don't know if I like it, honestly, because then it's just a tit for tat kind of like petty war that you're in. I can't even believe that this is happening. How dumb is this? What a dumb fight. I'm sorry, it is. Why is it always so dumb when it comes to siblings? Like, honestly. You're not the a-hole, my dear. Do you agree with my judgment?
The one time we do agree.
Go back in your cage. Oh, we got an update. We have an update. I love it when there's an update. Firstly, thank you all so much for the crazy response on my original post. Totally unexpected, but very much appreciated by my fiance and I. As I mentioned a couple of times in the comments of my original post, my fiance and I wrote up a Facebook post to explain the situation to our families, mostly mine, including screenshots of texts with my brother and I. As expected, once the family heard our side of the story and put everything together, many of them changed their tune. All right, interesting. So they didn't know everything. Got it. Most of the family members who'd been calling me an a-hole ended up apologizing and siding with me and my fiance. It's always a good feeling to be right.
I told you so.
My brother was livid. He called me about an hour after the post went up and demanded I take it down because it made him look bad. No, babe, you made yourself look bad. It's literally your fault. He said he was being unfairly attacked and even blamed me for his girlfriend breaking up with him. No, honestly, it's kind of a good thing that she found out early because, like, this is some weird diabolical. This is weird. I'd break up with you too, buddy.
We're done.
My brother has formally been banned from the entire wedding. Yay! And we've asked any family members who continue to side with him to RSVP that they will not be attending. Our parents aren't happy with the turnout, and my mother has decided she won't be attending my wedding because of how I'm alienating my brother during an important event.
Oh my gosh.
Alienating your brother. How about your brother's being an absolute basket case and you're acting accordingly? What the hell? Mothers can be so unbelievably blind when their kids are acting like total lunatics, but that's not your problem. I don't mind. I've never been very close with her. And while it is a bit sad that she's choosing my hard-headed brother over my wedding, I still have my father's full support. My brother's now ex-girlfriend is still invited and got promoted to a bridesmaid because of how helpful and supportive she's been to my fiance. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's good. Let's focus on the silver lining, eh? Hopefully this is the last issue we'll run into during the wedding planning. I hope this update lives up to any expectations. I never expected I'd be in this situation, but I'm glad so many people in this sub got a kick out of it. I got so many kicks. I got a good little kick. Oh no, now you know that I just do these in pajamas. Pajamas and slippers.
Hot. Gotcha.
Yeah, your bro sounds like a narcissist, honestly. It's always awkward when there's a narcissist in the family, you know? Oh, God. It's so hard to communicate. He called me about an hour after the post went up and demanded I take it down because it made him look bad. Well, yeah, it made him look bad because he was behaving badly. Like, this is the thing. If you don't want people to post about your bad behavior or to tell people that you're behaving badly, don't behave badly. It's not that hard.
That's what she said.
Didn't he also go and tell your entire family that you like kicked him out of the wedding and like didn't tell them why you kicked him out? Narcissists don't like their perfect image spoiled in public. Same for your mother. Yeah, your mother sounds like a little bit of a narcissist too, because that spoils the perfect image of like the perfect family and like the perfect son. And it's like, no, you've ruined the whole happy families and perfect mother fantasy she insists you all play along with. Have a lovely wedding. It's settled then. I'm glad you found a way to work it out. I'm sorry that this is happening to you and your family. It's always such a hard thing to deal with. My advice is it's easy to cut off a narcissist when they're not your family. It's very hard to cut off a narcissist when it's someone that is in your family who's hurt you and acted like a complete douche canoe. Keep them at arm's length. It's gonna be hard, but I mean, you guys will work it out in the end, I have a feeling. Or you won't, and that's okay too. You don't choose who your family is, unfortunately. Am I the a-hole for not paying for my daughter's wedding because she invited my brother and his family? I'm 46 and my brother's 48. When I was 20, my then girlfriend cheated with my brother. Woo. Ew, what the hell? I was heartbroken and pissed. I told him he's no longer my brother. Despite my request, my family didn't cut him off, so I told him that I will never again be in the same place as he is. If they wish to invite both, then they should just invite him, as I am the one giving the ultimatum. My daughter is getting married in spring of next year. In our culture, both parents are paying for the wedding, 50-50. Unexpectedly, my daughter sat me down and told me she will be inviting my brother and his family. He married my cheating ex. Oh... Ew. How do you not see how ew that is? Apparently, she was seeing them for the last 4 years and built a relationship behind my back. She even wants her cousin to be some kind of flower girl. This is messy. This is really, really messy. I was pissed. I told her what my boundaries are, and if my brother's invited, then I will not pay my part of the wedding. Yeah. I feel like that's fair, to be honest. Like, why would you want to pay for a wedding that's going to be thousands of dollars to just like go and sit there and have to be with someone who undoubtedly hurt you? Undoubtedly? Like, I wouldn't want to pay for that either. The hell? She became angry and told me it's time to let go of the past. I mean, yeah, it's not her brother that did that, so easy for her to say that. I told her it's not her call to make. We argued some more and she told me I'm making her wedding about myself. No, you're just not gonna pay for it. Figure it out. I don't know. Damn. I told her I will probably not even attend, so it will all be about her. She left crying. Yeah, I wouldn't want to pay for a wedding that I'm not going to be at either. My ex-wife called me screaming and told me I'm a huge a-hole and our daughter is crushed. Then my parents called, same thing. I told them off and now I'm ignoring their calls. My girlfriend told me to reconsider and apologize. That by not paying and attending, I will break that relationship with my daughter. I don't know. I think my boundaries should be respected. Am I an a-hole for that? No, you're not. I'm sorry. You're just like, you're literally not. Why does everybody feel entitled to your money, but they're not willing to respect your boundaries? This is all about you not wanting to pay for the wedding, right? I don't understand. Yo, what the hell is happening on Reddit today? Man, not the a-hole all the way. This is one of those stories where your daughter has decided she's willing to alienate you for someone that betrayed your trust. It doesn't matter if it was 20 years ago. Loyalty! Loyalty! Come on, and that's not just like something little. This is a really, really big deal. If she wants him, there so bad he can pay the half. Oh, there's an interesting take. There you go. Also, it's okay she has a relationship. It's okay she wants her cousin in it. It's not okay that she wants you to pay for half her wedding. So as a person that truly hurt you can participate in it as well. Like, honestly, what? While I'm fully supporting you standing your ground, just remember if you stand there, you will miss out on her potential kids, birthday parties, and other family events because your fam will truly cut you off. If you're okay with that, do so. You're not the a-hole, my dear. I'd be caught dead before I paid for a wedding like that. If she wants you to pay for the wedding, she's just not gonna invite him. That's just like what has to happen. And if she wants to invite him, then she needs to find some other way to pay for the wedding. Not that difficult of a decision. Apparently it is, though.
All right, do we got time for one more? What if it's a good one? Just one more good one.
Okay.
Am I the a-hole for uninviting my mother from my wedding after she called my wife indecent for having plastic surgery? Oh, this is a new take. Okay. My partner of 11 years, Sarah, was in a car accident 3 years ago that led to her having scars across her torso, left arm, and jaw. She's been hiding them with makeup, but you could still feel them, and they also made her very self-conscious. We talked about her having them removed before we got married, as she admitted she wanted to put off getting married due to them. At Christmas of 2019, I got an unexpected bonus from work, and we already had a substantial amount set aside for the wedding, so I suggested we use the bonus pay for the plastic surgery. Oh wow, that is so nice. This went ahead and Sarah's now much happier with how she looks. She still wears makeup to hide a few small lines from the plastic surgery, but they will fade to white with time and be less noticeable. We had been planning for our wedding in October, and she recently went dress shopping with my mother, her mother, and her sister. At the shop, my mother saw the scars and inquired about why they look so different from her original scars. Sarah explained about the plastic surgery, and then my mother didn't mention it again, so we didn't think it was a big deal. Until yesterday, when I was at my parents discussing the business Dad and I co-own, she butted in and told me it was immoral to marry someone as indecent as Sarah. That it was disgusting that she had plastic surgery, etc., etc. Oh, brother. Give me a frickin' break. Why does it have anything to do with her? I don't get it. It's none of your dang business. There was a massive argument, and I told her if she was going to talk about Sarah like that, then she wasn't invited to the wedding. At which point she broke down in tears and I left. Now half my family's pissed at me for uninviting and upsetting her. Am I the a-hole here? No, you're not. Your mom is being insane. I get that plastic surgery is a taboo topic, okay? I get that having any sort of procedure done, anything that changes your appearance, people are gonna have opinions about it. But at the end of the day, it is not your problem. It doesn't have anything to do with you. Why does it bother you so much? I personally think it's amazing that people can change things that they don't like about themselves in order to be more confident. We live in an age where beauty and science come together, and you can change the things that give you like crippling insecurity and fix those things about yourself. Fix those things. Most of the time people are like, hey, you didn't need to do that, whatever. You know what? That's fine. It's not your body. It's not your face. It's not your problem, okay? Let's get over this idea that people aren't allowed to like change the way they look because, you know, we wouldn't do that to ourselves. I bet you would if you had the money. I'm just saying it.
More money, more problems.
And also, this was over a reason where she was like disfigured from it being in a car accident. It wasn't even just like a vanity thing, like she didn't like her nose or whatever, which is also fine too. This was like she was permanently disfigured from a car accident and she was unhappy with the way that she looked. That's not the way that she looks naturally. So why are we okay with a car accident totally disfiguring someone, but we're not okay with a plastic surgeon going in there and disfiguring? So bizarre. Get over it. Who cares? Not the a-hole. First of all, I want to give you some respect here. It's clear that the scars didn't bother you at all, but you recognize how they're affecting Sarah and her self-esteem, and that you both talked about it openly and were happy for your bonus to go toward her surgery. For her, more for you. And also respect you for speaking up for Sarah and defending her, period. I was very happy to see that you did that too. What a dumb thing to say. Indecent. What the hell? Indecent? So weird. People have always changed the way they look, like always. Even Marilyn Monroe probably got plastic surgery. That was like 70 years ago. Get with the times. Sarah was in an accident which damaged not only her body but the way she sees herself, and I bet you are the kind of guy who tells her she's beautiful but she doesn't feel it. And now she's got some of what she lost back for her. Not the a-hole. It's a shame your mom's reaction to say it's immoral. You're not the a-hole, my dear. And that's how I feel about it. Mind your business.